Hi, Dan here. Hope you're doing well. In this lesson, I'm going to show you 5-minute bass guitar practice tips. Now, hopefully 5 minutes turns into a bit longer. Whether you do each of these 5 elements in one practice session or you do one of them because that's all the time you have, that's kind of up to you, okay? Now, what I was doing in the intro was pretty much all 5 of those things all at once, but I'm going to just break everything down and split it all up. It doesn't really matter what order you do this in, but we're going to start off with memorizing a scale. You can adapt any idea you like in this lesson to your specifications. Do what you like. But in general, I was doing a kind of a soul, Motown, R&B type vibe in the intro. That was what I was concentrating on, with a little Jaco Pastorius flavor in there. He was very much influenced by Tommy Cogbill and Jerry Jamot and those soul kind of players. And so what I was working on was a Mixolydian mode. Okay, don't worry too much if you don't know what that means. Here it is. So let's concentrate on this. Memorizing a scale. So this is the Mixolydian mode. It's exactly the same as a major scale, but the 7th is dropped down a fret. Okay, that's all it is. We'll get on to creativity and making stuff up a bit later on. But for now, you need to just memorize that scale. So this is the pattern. There's nothing particularly exciting or creative about that. I'm just going up, ascending, and down, and that's it. Now perhaps learn it in different parts of the bass. If you know it from the highest note to the lowest, that means that you can start again here with your little finger like you did here. Okay, sure, we run out of bass there. It's an F sharp and an E, so you can kind of move. And then you can start here, 12th fret of the E string. I love the bass because it's all patterns, same thing. You can start again there. Again, run out of bass, but move up, and you've got the extension of that pattern. So suddenly I've got quite a few different places that I can play this. I was always starting with my second finger. How about experimenting with playing a different pattern? You can do a 3 notes per string. Okay. Learning patterns on the bass, learning scales, learning arpeggios and triads. That's very easy, by the way. A triad is just when you take the 1st, 3rd, and 5th, of the notes of a scale. That's your triad. That's your 7th arpeggio. Loads of bass lines come from this. So this part of your practice routine can be memorizing a new scale that you don't know and pushing yourself to play in different parts. Start with different fingers, go up, go down, but you're very much exploring something new, a new scale. Next thing you can do is to focus, absolutely zero in deliberately on your technique. Your technique is your means of expressing yourself on the bass and just playing what you like. It needs to be really good. Your coordination, your stamina, your strength, all of that needs to be good. So this is the part where you concentrate on technique. You may have your own exercises that you like. I've got loads of free exercises. I'll put the link below, and a whole book on this. Or you can make your own. So we've got our Mixolydian. And you might just want to just go up and down and just run them up and down. There's nothing wrong with that, even though it's a little boring. You can do that. That's going in thirds. You can do different patterns, different rhythms. Or you can do those really boring ones. I don't know if you know any of those, but anything just to focus on really getting your technique moving forward. Hammer-ons, pull-offs, let's concentrate on hammer-ons, that's this. Why not take your scale and just do hammer-ons on the way up and pull-offs on the way down? Loads of things you can do. An arpeggio up and down. I'm kind of alternating there, but also doing a bit of raking. That's where you get one finger and just continue plucking through the strings with that one finger. So whatever you do, you're just being deliberate about technique. It doesn't really matter which one of these 5 things that you do, and you may have other ideas of other things to do, but it doesn't really matter what order you do this in. I was going to do the next 2 things the other way around, but I think I'm just going to talk about this now, which is listening to music. And what you'll do is you'll come up against some different scales and tonalities that you'll hear in music. So using this soul, Motown, R&B, Jacko thing as an example, you know, when I'm listening to Jacko, I don't know if you know much Jacko Pastorius. If you do, you would have heard that sort of thing before. It's the pentatonic scale. And when you listen and transcribe, things pop out. You can hear it. So it's a E octave. It's that flat 7, and there's that major third. And when you practice the mode and the arpeggios, lo and behold, you're then equipped a little bit better to hear it. Your ear gets better. So you listen to, in this example, Jacko Pastorius, and you can hear him do something amazing. Yeah, something like that. There's a root. There is a 5th. When you go to the same fret but drop down a string in pitch, go 2 frets up from that, and you get a major 6th. This is it's a classic soul pattern, okay? And you learn this by watching videos like mine and me telling you this, but then you listen to all the great soul bass players, Duck Dunn, David Hood, etc., and you come up against this time and time again. Remember, it doesn't matter what style I'm talking about here. It could be heavy metal. It's the same thing. You'll find the same kind of components of this. And this happens when you listen to music. You know, so you find that. You see that Jacko's doing that. You transcribe it. You work on it a bit, and then it becomes part of your playing. Everything I was doing in the intro, it's something that I've borrowed from someone else and used, and that comes from listening. It comes from working it out yourself. Okay, yeah, I'm going to plug my book. I've got a soul, Motown, R&B book, actually, which is going to turn into a course, hopefully next week. That's another thing that you can do, is obviously get something like that. And in that book, you know, one of my favorite patterns is this one. That's a major pentatonic scale, okay? But playing the first 3 notes on the same string, which lends itself well to that sort of thing, slide. And then that's the 6th. 1 fret higher is that flat 7. So it's organizing that into a really cool. And in this portion of your practice, you're listening and then you're creating, you're kind of bringing it into your own vocabulary. That's perhaps my favorite part of bass playing, is working stuff out that I like, figuring it out on the fretboard, the patterns, the different rhythms, and this is where the magic really happens for me anyway. Then, this is the last thing I'm going to talk about today, is some sort of rhythm element. Whether it's a metronome on every beat, or beats 2 and 4, that simulates the snare drum, the backbeat, or you have something like this, drum beat. I'll play it and explain. I took that nice root 5/6 and also that cool pattern I showed you there, and now I'm just making something up, but really crucially with some timing component, because timing and groove and feel, these are some of the most important elements in your bass playing, and that's what you want to work on. Now I hope you got some ideas from that. You can adapt this to your own needs, you can do different styles, but certainly if you work on these things as much as you can, you're going to get a lot better. If you have any questions, do let me know. Thanks very much for watching. Please do subscribe to the channel, and I'll hope to see you on the next one.